Hello, guys. Happy Tuesday night. So, tonight we're going to be talking with Megan Mcavoy. She is a teacher and an assistant principal. I think that's what her title would be. And she's also a mom, and she's written a book called Hidden Pieces, and we're going to talk about that. I'm really excited. This month is Autism Awareness Month. So, here she comes. She's going to join us now. Let's see. So we're going to be talking about her book, which is to help kids with autism or neurodiversity. Hey,
Hi.
thank you for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having me.
This is very cool. So I feel really honored, first of all, that you just wanted to do this with me. So I appreciate it. I think it's really cool.
Yes, well, thank you for thinking of it.
Yeah, I
That's
think
very
it's
cool.
well, I think it's really neat that you took the time to write this to help other parents and teachers and whoever could use something like this. It's a great resource.
Yeah. I hope it's helpful and useful.
Yeah, I used it yesterday, so I think it's great. So I thought I would just ask you some questions and see if it can be helpful for some families or
Yeah,
teachers or whoever ends up watching.
definitely.
Okay, so what inspired you to write Hidden Pieces?
So, social stories are a very helpful tool for people who are on the spectrum, and I have written a million social stories. I
Mhm.
would write social stories for everything: going to the dentist, getting on a cruise ship, going surfing, going to the doctor, just anything that what brought Carter anxiety, or even my students, EOGs, taking a big test at the end of the year. I was just writing so many social stories just for the instances that were happening in my life with Carter and with the other students that I really started thinking about like all of the other hidden rules in society that people don't teach you. You just kind of you catch on to and you just know them, and
Mhm.
that's not going to be the case for people who are on the spectrum. And so I just sat down and I made a list, and I've read some other books about these other hidden things in life, and I made a list, and then I created my own short social stories that just really lay out what's going to happen so that the person who is about to go through that experience knows exactly what to expect from the moment it starts to the moment it finishes. And it really, social stories are like magic. They just kind of calm people down on the spectrum once they know, okay, without any emotion, this is what I should expect from this scenario. It really just does work like magic. So I wanted there to be something for all of those other things that I hadn't thought of. That you don't look through the crack in a public bathroom to see if the stall is being used. You bend down and look underneath. It's not
Yeah,
appropriate to look through. So just all of these things that we kind of pick up on in life that nobody really explicitly told us. I wanted to make sure that Carter had a way for me to help him through all of those scenarios, even when I'm not around or in the future or something like that. So he was really my audience for the book. I am so happy that other people have felt or have found use in it. There's not a whole lot in there geared towards girls
okay.
because I am writing it for a boy,
Yeah.
but I am very happy that other people have found it useful and have been able to to pick it up and say, "Oh, yeah, this is helpful."
Yeah. No, I think it's really good. And so do you want to talk about Carter for a minute, like, and explain like who Carter is and how he became such a big part of the book?
Definitely. So Carter is my 16-year-old son. When he was 2.5, he was diagnosed with autism. He was nonverbal and had quite a bit of behaviors, a lot of behaviors because he was nonverbal. That was very
Mhm.
frustrating for him. And so once he was diagnosed, that day I made a commitment to learn everything I could about autism and dive headfirst into it and do whatever we had to do. So from the age of 2.5 up until probably he was 12, we did intensive therapies. Intensive.
Yeah.
He has done every therapy there is under the sun. We've done aquatic therapy, equestrian therapy, feeding therapy, behavior therapy, play therapy, OT therapy, speech. We have done every single thing. We went really hard and hit it really intensely at a young age. But now we're at a point where he's graduated from a great number of those, and we've backed off, and now we're in a stage of life where we don't really have a lot of therapies. Um, but he is my muse. He is the reason I do anything I do. I want to give him the best life possible and make sure that he can excel everywhere. And he's done great. He's definitely verbal. Um,
Okay.
he is
Yes.
very verbal. He talks nonstop all the time. And so he's just made great growth, and I can't wait to see what his future holds. But I know there are so many things that I'm still helping him navigate, little
Yeah.
intricacies in relationships and school and math and all of the things. And so I know there's going to be a lot more that we have to do to get there. But I'm just so proud of the growth that he has made. So far, he's done great.
Well, you're amazing. And I've seen him in person, and I had seen the video guy you posted that the dance
Oh, yeah.
and him dancing, and just the fact, I think I've worked with autistic kids for a year. I mean, that's been a lot of my work since I was like 18, 19. And what I think is so remarkable with him and with you is the ability of reducing his anxiety so much that he's able to go into the dance and not like be so upset or like just like holding back. Like he was full on, like
Oh, yeah.
totally enjoying himself.
You would have thought
So,
the whole dance was just there for just him. He had the best time. And I think the other part of that is that at Milestones, we have cultivated an environment of inclusion.
yeah.
Those kids support him and cheer him on, and they know his struggles and they know the things that he has to work on, but they encourage him so much. You could see in that video, they were all cheering and clapping and chanting for him, and he had the best time. And they are just so supportive of not just him, there's other special
Yeah.
needs children that we have there, but Milestones has done just such a great job of inclusion that these special needs kids are in every class with them, and it is just a
Mhm.
part of their life. They are truly included in every aspect. And so I love what we've made there.
Oh, I do too. I think it's so I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
great. And so happy for Carter in that you were able to support him through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, so can you share a moment that really shaped your understanding of hidden rules? Like, was there a moment that you realized that, like, oh, there are all these hidden things kind of happening that he's not getting, or I've noticed other kids?
Yeah. So I actually came across a TikTok during COVID of a girl and her brother. I think she was called like the Taco Bell Queen.
Okay.
Um, and her brother was on the spectrum. He's an adult. And sometimes they'd be doing silly dances, as everybody does on TikTok. But sometimes he would read from this one a day, like one of those one a day rip off calendars. And
Mm-hmm.
he would read from that a scenario. And it would kind of talk about, when you're out with your friends and you're doing this, this, and this, make sure whatever. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So I looked for that product, and it was out of circulation years ago. He must have never ripped the pages off because he still had it. But it wasn't in circulation. And so I couldn't find what I wanted for him. I wanted just a
Yeah.
simple explanation of a scenario, what to expect. And then, if we can just read one a day, we'll fill up our bank of all of these things. But I couldn't find it. So then I had to create it. And so that took a lot of time. Then I started reading some other books from some other professionals who talk about things like the hidden curriculum. It's more school related, things like that. But it is those hidden things, intricacies into the school system and going to school and things like that. So I just had to create it. And initially I wanted it to be a ripoff, one a day type of thing, but you
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to make that on my own. So it ended up being a book.
I think it's great. I love it. And what's really interesting is because I've done social stories for years with kids too, is that I've even used them. Like if you have kids with like a lot of anxiety that like to know like the beginning, the middle, and the end, you can do it with them too. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be as detailed a lot of times, but with like little ones, 3 and 4 year olds, like I've done this with Isaac his whole life because I was so used to doing it with like other kids. But I think it's so helpful for any kid,
absolutely.
really.
And they're so easy to write.
Yeah.
I mean, I just write out everything I want him to know, and then I insert pictures, in between the lines, and I do it. I do it the same way for 5 year olds that I do it for
Yeah.
fifth graders. It is just so easy, but it really does calm so much of that
Yes.
anxiety, and that's what it's calming for him. It's calming in his anxiety. It's not really His
Mm-hmm.
autism is keeping him from picking up on these things, but it's his anxiety that's getting him
Yes.
all worked up about it. So really, anybody with anxiety, if you tell them what to expect, you kind of ease it a little bit.
You do. And it's like it makes them angry. I mean, there's so many behaviors that can come out that seem
Hmm.
like they're being bad or they're not following directions or they don't want to listen to you. But it's really the anxiety that's taking over and they just can't. They're not capable of.
Yeah, so at the dance, I had told Carter we were going to a dance. I had it on a schedule. He knew about it. He kept asking me what time it was, and I said 6 to 8. He said, "What grade is it for?" I said 6 to 8. He said, "No, that's what time it is." I said, "And it's also for grades 6 through 8." And that was very confusing to him. But then in the
Yeah.
next morning, on that morning, he said, "You never told me if it was 6 a.m. or 6 p.m."
Oh,
And
yeah.
I said, "Well, it's not a.m. We'd be late." So there's still pieces that I didn't anticipate, that I didn't like, oh, gosh, maybe I cleared up all of this, but it really didn't clear
That
anything
is
up
so
for him. So
funny.
I'm still making mistakes and figuring it out, but trying to calm his anxiety a little bit.
No, that's good. Thank you for saying that because I think there's a lot of parents that feel like they make mistakes over and over and they just they're not doing a good job or they don't know and they just are messing up a lot. And so just to know that like you do this every day, you're a professional, you've done it since 16 and you still forget.
Exactly. I've been doing it for 16 years and I'm still, you're right. I didn't clarify. I'm so sorry. That is my mistake. Just anticipating
Yes.
what the miscommunication or misunderstanding is going to be is a lot. It's a big task to in every
Yeah.
single aspect that they of their life, anticipating what's going to upset them or what's going to be the
Hard.
change that's going to, make derail the entire day.
Yeah. No, it takes a lot. Yeah. A lot of prep and just, yes.
Mhm.
So what is a simple first step a parent can take today to help their kids navigate situations with more confidence, like social situations? What is something that a parent with a child with autism could do?
So I always like to tell people the best thing to do, I think, is to decide what you want to work on. One thing that you want to work on, and work on it at a time when you don't have anything else going on. You have nothing else, nowhere else. You're supposed to be. So if it is, I want to teach my kid how to navigate the grocery store. Make a grocery list, go to the grocery store, pick out some of these items, navigate the whole process that goes into grocery shopping or whatever, or asking somebody at the store for help to find something or whatever. I like it to be that's it. That is your only goal. You are not also there to pick up milk. You are not also there to do your normal grocery shopping. Like the whole entire process has to be just focused on how they are going to navigate the situation. So, for example, the first time Carter went to the dentist, I had called the dentist the day before and asked if we could come over right when they were closing so that he could see the inside of the waiting room. He could see where the chairs were. He could see what the office looks like. He could see what the people are dressed in. And I had a social story about what would happen while we were there. But it is a lot easier when I could take away him having to process the entire environment, where he's going to go, the sounds he's going to hear, the smells he's going to smell. When that was my only goal in that moment, it was a lot easier. So if you are helping your child navigate playing a game with a friend and you got to break it down and say, all I want to work on is turn taking. We'll
Yeah.
work on being a sore loser next time, but right now we just got to work on turn taking. Then you kind of have, I think you need to kind of put some of your other expectations out the window and only work on that. And you reward the turn taking and things like that. Even if they don't follow the rules exactly, or they miss up,
Mhm.
or their friend has an outburst or something like that. If the goal is just turn taking, then at the end celebrate when they were
Mhm.
able to take turns, not that they followed the rules or that they finished the game, or they weren't a sore loser or anything like that. So I have kind of gotten into a spot in my head where I take a task and then I just break it down completely and figure out, where am I going to see the biggest struggle? What do I need to help with? And then let's just focus on that one thing and take everything else out.
That's such good advice because then you're not being overwhelmed. They're not being overwhelmed, and you're just focusing on a single task and not
Yeah.
everything. And you're noticing all the mistakes. I think that's so good.
Yes, definitely. And I make notes like, okay, now we need to work on this, or oh, I didn't know we needed to work
Yeah.
on, following the rules as the game laid them out. Those other things may come out, but I really like just to focus on the one thing.
Yeah. No, I think that's perfect. Um, what would you say to a parent who feels overwhelmed or unsure to how to help their children socially?
I would say, welcome. You're always going to feel overwhelmed, I think. That is a normal feeling. You're not alone. I think
Okay.
everybody feels
That's really
that
good.
way. Um,
That's good.
I so Carter has recently started an online class
Okay.
throughout school. And it's just a fun class. It was a requirement I gave him at the beginning of the year. Uh, it's a Star Wars discussion group. I cannot participate in Star Wars discussions in the manner that he can.
I love that.
Um, so I said we're going to do a class, and it's not academic. It is just a fun class where you're going to do something you want, but you're going to log in every week. You're going to talk to these friends. You're going to discuss all of the parts of that. And at first, the first week or so, my husband and I kind of hovered around the corner to see what was going on. But then I was like, you know what? There's nothing bad that can happen. If he interrupts them, then okay, we'll talk about interrupting or making sure that everybody has, a fair amount of time to talk. But I wanted him to have that experience. The Milestone's we've done a great job of creating inclusion, but those kids also know how to talk to him.
Yes.
They know what his triggers
Yes.
are. They know they are anticipating it as much as I am. So they're already kind of not on eggshells, but they know how to walk around the conversation. These
Yes.
kids don't.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
that's okay. And they don't maybe live anywhere near here. I'm never going to see them. So if he fumbles and trips up every now and then, it's okay. It's still a learning experience, and I want him to learn that turn taking about a topic that he likes, and video chatting and things like that. So my advice would be to go to those
So good.
situations, go to the park, let them play with the kid, but have one goal. Like, hey, we're just going to find one person that we can play with. Don't put too much pressure on, oh,
Mhm.
you got to share, you got to play. Don't walk up this, do the, all of those things. Again, the one task, but go to the public library and
Mhm.
check out books and let them be in the public and experience how they're supposed to do it. Maybe meet some friends. But I can see how if we stayed inside, he would very quickly become just this introverted child that's at home all the time behind a screen or
Mhm.
whatever. So I'm constantly
Yes.
having to push him into these other settings and situations so
Mhm.
that he can have that experience in how to navigate those social situations. So my
That's so
advice would be just go out and try. What's the
yes.
worst that can happen?
Yeah, to like overcome the fear. Because I
Yes,
think a lot of times we're more scared as parents that they're going to do something that could embarrass us, or they're going to get hurt, or someone's going to be mean to them, and we just kind of have to let those things not necessarily happen completely, but let them happen, and then maybe have discussions later and
exactly.
process through it.
Yeah. You can't just stay in out of fear of what's going to
Yeah,
happen. When it comes up, then it's something you have to talk about, and then
yeah.
it's something to talk about, but you can't just avoid those situations out of the what ifs.
So true. And how does he like the Star Wars class?
He loves it. So with Carter, I have to like the social stories and things like that. He needs time to process what's happening.
Okay.
He needs time to think about it. And he has told me that before when he would get shot. I thought I
Mhm.
was doing him a favor by not telling him until we were driving there.
Okay.
And that was not the case. I was very wrong about that. And he said, no, I need you to tell me so I have time to think about it. And really, he just needs time to get over the fear of it. So I put it out there and said, you have to do 4 classes. I will not hear your opinion on it until you've done 4 classes. Then you can tell me what you think about it. And so then after that, I said, it's up to you if you continue. You did the 4, it's up to you.
Mhm.
And he's like, you know what? It's not that bad. And he asks to do it. He reminds me every Thursday. He likes it. He likes to talk about it. I've asked, hey, do you want to try another group? We could try something else. He's like, nope, I like these guys. I want to keep doing this. So at first he hated the idea. Then when I
Okay.
put some stipulations on it, he did it, but he ended up loving it himself. And that really does come out more often than not. He ends up like, yeah, you were right. That was a good idea.
Good. And so do you do like reward consequences for him to do the like what how did you get him motivated to do it? Was there like a pro like was there something that would help him?
So I have the luckiest kind of autism. Um, my autistic child is a rule follower. We
Okay.
do not break rules. If I say something is a rule, it will never happen again, or it
Okay.
will always happen, whatever the rule is. Um, so when I say, like, hey, we're doing this, this is not up for discussion. That's it.
Okay.
He's not gonna come back and yeah,
That
I
is
know this
lucky.
is not everybody's story, but my guy is a rule follower, so he didn't push back too much.
Okay, very cool. All
But I do
right.
reward him. I do reward him a lot. So the end of the year program, that's hard
Yes.
for him. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
That's a lot. And so I do offer him rewards, and I'll say, hey, you pick what it is you need. What is it that you want? Do you want a toy? Do you want dinner? What do you want? And we will get it. I am big on rewards and consequences.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're consistent with them, then
Hmm.
it's easy. And I am very,
Yeah.
very consistent.
Yes, I think consistency is such a big thing. Um, what do you think happens? Like, what do you, if people are not consistent with their children that have autism, what are some of the things that could happen? Why do you think it's so important? Or what are things that cause challenges when it's not done consistently?
So people on the spectrum love routine. They like to know what to anticipate. Again, with the social stories, they love a routine. They like it. If they think if I hit my sister, maybe I'll get yelled at, maybe I won't, maybe they won't care. You're never teaching a rule. You're never teaching that this is how something is supposed to be all of the time. And that's for all kids, not even just kids on the
Yeah.
spectrum. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with your expectations, with your discipline, but also with your rewards too. You
Hmm.
can't say, oh, I'm going to get you something, or we're going to go get an ice cream, and then we're never going to go get an ice cream for it. And you
Yeah.
just think they forget. Like the consistency has to be across the board with your expectations, rewards, and consequences. But the consequences, most definitely, you are always going to get redirected when you do this. Always. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And that is it takes a lot of attention on the parent's part, but it definitely is important. Consistency. I'm sorry, my mom was calling me.
That's okay. You're good. Yes, it does take consistency. Thank you. So can you share one or two strategies from your book, any that parents could start using right away? Like how to introduce it, or how would you say that they could start using it like today?
So the great thing I think about my book is you don't have to read it front to back.
Okay.
Because of the table of contents, really the way I had
Mhm.
anticipated it being used is if you're about to go to a birthday party, let's read
Mhm.
this section on birthday parties. We don't
Okay.
need to start at bathrooms. Let's only focus on this. Or when you see a problem is coming up or you're about to take a trip, maybe there's certain sections you need to pull from. It's definitely too much to read in one sitting and remember it and it be meaningful that you comprehended everything. So I would definitely say pick one area that you want to start working on and read just those pages or something that's been troubling you. I would definitely start slow and start, that's what I did with Carter. When we read it, we would just read like 4 or 5 pages a night, because if I want him to remember it and really commit it to his memory, I can't read however many pages that is,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
expect him to get the takeaway that I want, because it's not like he's going to recognize, well, I don't remember all of that. I better go back and
yeah.
read.
So do you leave it in his room for him to, would you leave it in a child's room or do you keep it in your,
So
how
I
is,
do leave it in his room. However, he's not quite at the point where he's like, oh, I have this great tool that
okay.
I should reference before,
Yeah.
or I'm struggling with something. Maybe I should check out my mom's book. He's not there. So I'm still pointing out like,
Okay.
hey, I noticed this. And if there's something in my book that will help, then we will pull that out and turn to that page and read it. And if it's not in my book, then I'm making notes for the next book
So the next
of
book. Yes,
what
no,
it
I think
needs.
that's. What do you wish schools or communities could do to better support autistic children, neurodivergent children?
So I think I would like to see more resources in the community for autistic people. We do have a small community of people here, um, but I don't really see it integrated into other aspects of the community. I know that it exists
Yeah.
somewhere over here. There's a group of autistic parents, but I don't see it like intermingled into the community. So I would like to see more inclusion of people on the spectrum, or the activities or functions that they are providing for them, maybe more widely advertised, or more aware, because I know people who are not in the autistic community are not aware of the autistic community in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's not very, uh,
Yeah.
intertwined into the community. So
Okay.
I do think that would be my biggest suggestion, because again, that's how I think Milestones has got done so great with our inclusion. There's no other
Hmm.
option. He's there.
Yeah.
The kids are there, and so we're going to figure it out, and we're going to be in the community together and work through it. And so I think that is something we are definitely lacking
Yeah.
in our
I
community.
agree. That's good. All right. So we're about to finish up. Where do people find your book or can connect? Well, do you want people to connect with you? Um,
Yeah, I love to help people. I think that I have a unique knowledge base, having
mhm.
been a public school teacher, a special education teacher, and a special ed parent. I do know how these things work in the school system. I know the federal laws about special needs. So I'm happy for people to contact me if they have questions. I'm happy to help if I can. So you can
Yeah.
definitely give them my email and they can
Okay.
email me if they have questions, but you can always pick up my book on Amazon.
Okay.
And that's really the only place it's at, is Amazon.
No, that's great. And I had the link. I put the link up several times this week, and then I'll put it in the description at the bottom of this live
Okay,
once it's done.
perfect.
Um, if there's one message you hope parents take away from Hidden Pieces, what would it be?
Oh, from my book, hmm, I think if people read it, they will realize there are so many aspects that we're just expected to know, that just come intrinsically, or we pick up on those cues from when you read it. When I sat down and wrote it, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Oh, you don't, oh
Yeah.
gosh, we don't even think about that and that. And so it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And so I don't think that we're aware of how many things we just expect people to know. So I would encourage people to take some time and look through it and see, like, oh my goodness, I've never taught that, or whatever. But most importantly, my biggest message for anybody who's a parent on the spectrum, the only thing that works is early intervention. The only thing that is going to move the mark and make growth is early intervention. You cannot take a 16-year-old and start therapies. You have to start early and go
Yeah.
hard, and then you can back off later. But it is so hard to go hard later in life when patterns and routines and habits have been developed.
Yeah, no, I think that's with anything with kids because like or any of us, like our brains when they're little, they're so like just malleable and
Mm-hmm.
that's when you're learning everything. And as you get older, if people think about learning a language, when you're 16, 17, it's a lot harder to learn a
Yeah,
foreign language. And just think when you're 50, like it's almost impossible.
exactly.
But when
Exactly.
you're little, it's like it's so much easier to get all that in there. So yes, I can completely agree.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank
I
you.
think you are so amazing and a remarkable mom and teacher, and I
Well,
really
thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you so much. I try.
Yeah. Yeah, you're great. All right, so I'm going to put this on, this will live on Instagram and in a couple
Okay.
other places. And thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.